Yeah, good afternoon. Uh, it's a Sunday, and as always, I'd like to do a weekly outlook on gold. What to expect this coming week, probably in form of a top-down analysis, and we'll just be doing some technical analysis here and there, noting down some zones where we expect some reaction, and lay probably the plan on what we expect to happen, starting from tomorrow. I remember next week is very important. Next week is the FOMC around 16 to 17. So we might probably get the rate cut that everyone has been anticipating and crying for. So right away we'll dive deep into it. And today I'll probably start on the weekly chart because monthly chart there is really not much going on. There's not much going on the monthly chart apart from the bullish sentiment that is ongoing. So we'll do our top-down analysis from the weekly chart and probably down there to 4 hour, 1 hour chart. So this is the weekly chart on display currently, and as you can see, we've been on a very strong bull run from the month of August to right now. But when you see the size of the candlesticks, you can see that the candlesticks are beginning to contract. This candlestick, the beginning of September, when you compare with these, the bullish activity has shrinked, and probably last week, as everyone could have noted, we were in some form of consolidating market. So that is why you find this candlestick as reduced in volume compared to this week. The first week of September was really bullish month. There were the retracements even were not possible. The month was just printing green all along. So this week was bullish compared to the previous week, last week. That is, we were in some form of consolidation. So as you can see, I've marked the ranges for the previous week. I've marked the previous week high, the previous week low. There was also the new opening week gap here, which was left. And what these are on weekly chart, probably I'm watching these levels. There's also a gap here, a gap. This is what we would call a fair value gap. We have marked the previous week low is basically the start of that gap, and to the also the high of from the high of the last week of September, August, to the open of the second week of September. There's that gap. There's that fair value gap. So it's a key level. Also, there's this imbalance here, which was formed during the open of last week. The first week of September really closed at the first week of September closed at that 586.545, and the second week opened at 3591. So you can note that there is some difference there on the opening. Ideally, the next week should have opened at the close of this, but you see there's that gap. The market gapped up during the open. When you go to the lower time frames, like 5 minutes or 15 minutes or even 1 hour, you can see that gap clearly. So there's that gap, always a good level for gold. It loves it so much. It's a dynamic support and resistance. So sometimes when you find price coming to a gap, it will always flip, or when it breaks through that gap, it will act as a support to continue the trend. So those are the levels which I'm watching. Basically, the previous week high, the previous week low, and this gap. Those are the levels which I'm watching on the weekly chart. This previous week low is also in line with this fair value gap. So on the daily chart, last week was in a form of ranging market when you look closely on gold, and the daily chart is really clear on that. We had this run from this retracement to the all-time high around that 674. That was on Tuesday, and then from that day, from Tuesday onwards to Friday, we saw candles consolidating within the range of this candle. So after the market taking high of this candle, sorry, I did not mark. So after the market taking the high of this, when was this? This was on Monday. After taking the high of Monday, we've never seen a close above the high of that day. So someone who trades CRT or candle trend theory would say that this low might be a good target for price, which is the previous week low, a good fair value to support prices. And everyone is praying for this price to drop to this zone before Tuesday so that you can anchor your swing trades towards the previous week high. Because when you find the rate cuts being bearish for the DXY or the dollar, you will find gold rising up and continuing the bullish momentum. And now the eyes are on that 700. So if the gods are good and decide to bless you, so gold drops to this zone by Tuesday, then bull run the rest day of the weeks. You get your 1,000 pips. You get your how many pips? Yeah, you get 1,000 pips. That would be a very good swing. So on the daily chart, the levels which I'm watching is this low, still the previous week low. This gap, a very good draw on liquidity. Then we have the Wednesday high, which was created during PPI, and this high, the price has really feared it a lot. On Thursday, price came traded close to it, but this was on Friday. The price traded close to it, but got rejected before sweeping the high of Wednesday. So this Wednesday high or PPI high is a very good zone. Of course, this all-time high for gold now, this is a very weak zone. It might be broken still. So I have this Wednesday high as my area to watch on gold, and I have this this Thursday low as my area to watch because the high has been swept. So ideally, price swept the low of Wednesday. I was expecting price to sweep the high of Wednesday, then a continuation downwards to sweep the low of Thursday. Then next week, some consolidation towards the open of the week, and then rate cuts are out, and then we ride the trend towards the all-time high. It would be a good thing if it happens that way, but it's still possible, still possible. So those are the zones I'm watching on the daily time frame. I'm watching the Wednesday high, and I'm watching Thursday low. This previous week high or the all-time high, I don't expect it to be swept on the early days of the week. Yeah. So these are my zones currently, which I'm targeting. So on the 4-hour time frame, 4-hour time frame, 4-hour time frame, and 4-hour time frame is giving us some bullish vibes currently. So we had price dropping down, sweeping this liquidity and this zone of absorption where this candle, I call it the absorption candle because you find that there were sellers trying to dump the market due to the because you can note that by the contraction of this candle compared to this one and this one. So I call it that the absorption zone in a way that the sellers were absorbed by the buyers and the trend continued to the all-time high. So this zone is very critical, and you see the price reacted from it perfectly on that day. And when you look at the 4-hour chart, we are in the market has formed some kind of inversion. I have a friend who calls it the cap. Eh? A guy I met recently and I ate a cap. So there's some form of a cap being formed here. A very good pattern for continuations, for continuations, and this is buys. For buys, I'm trying to find a tool here. I don't know where are my tools. Okay, let me use this. So there's this kind of inversion. There's this kind of inversion, and our price is trades in that zone. So on the 4-hour time frame, this high which was formed during this high which was formed Asian session on Friday, there was some really bullish activity that day. which started on CPI New York session. So this high was taken out and price has consolidated within the range of this candle. I thought this PPI high or Wednesday high would be taken out, but price really came close to it and got rejected. So support and resistance traders would say that there was some resistance here. Retail traders would say that there is some resistance here. So what I'm expecting currently, or my game plan, if I were to trade for our chart, I would expect price to take out this low, the low of this candle. Then from that, we either find a reversal upward to take these highs, or the price breaks this zone and it continues to dump towards the low of Thursday, which is also towards the low of Thursday. Yeah, that is what I'm expecting. So two things can happen on Monday, but I want to see price. What I want to see price come to is this zone. I want to see price tap into this zone and either continue up, reverse and continue upwards, or breaks this zone completely, then retest it for some kind of support, continuation downwards towards the Thursday low. Then after that, of course, we find some consolidation and then rate cuts, and then we jump into the trend. That would be my very nice scenario to happen. Or another one, I'd expect price to sweep these highs. I don't know if it would go for these all-time highs, but probably not. It might sweep the highs, then reversal or consolidation till Tuesday or Wednesday, then we continue upwards. So that is what I'm thinking on gold on the 4 time frame. So this low is around the 6.485. So our last time frame, the 1 hour time frame. 1 hour time frame. So 1 hour time frame, uh, you can see we are in a form of ranging market. There is no clear trend. The market is ranging between this PPI high or Wednesday high and Tuesday low there. So we don't have much of activity going on. So this is the zone which I showed you on the 4 hour chart, where I'm expecting price to either break through it for continuation downwards, or price taps into it, rejection, then reversal towards the PPI highs. Now, why am I saying that? Because when you see this zone must be tapped, because when you see we already have some kind of bearish sentiment on the 1 hour time frame. We have this inversion here, then this zone has really held price, and you can see that absorption zone which I was talking about, this candle where buyers tried to enter the market, but they really got overpowered by sellers. So we have this small candle, or this candle which really contracted. So we have this zone becoming some kind of a support for lower prices or resistance for higher prices. So we have that zone now really supporting of our bearish sentiment, and we have these lows. Gold doesn't love to leave such lows hanging. So I want to see price drop to these lows on the early days of the week, and then from that we can see what happens. So that is the last time frame. I think if we go to LTFs like 15 and 5 or wherever, there will be nothing which we'll be doing apart from seeing these relative equal lows only, which should be taken out before continuation, or before continuation downwards, or a reversal upwards for the PPI highs. But for now, I think if I were to grade, let's say bullishness or bearishness, I'd say that I think the market is currently bearish, but after taking this loss, we might have strong bullish sentiment upwards for these PPI highs, because there are also relative equalize which were created. So that's what I'm thinking. But this all-time high, I don't expect it to be swept on the early days of the week, unless gold does what it does. You can't you can't say never in gold. It can go to any place it wishes to. Anyway, that is my short top down analysis on gold and what I'm expecting this coming week. I'm really watching this zone. I would love if gold taps to it because it will be a very nice zone for continuation. If it does this before Tuesday or Wednesday, oh Lord, it will be a very nice swing position for you guys. Anyway, it looks far away. With the bullish sentiment in the market, it looks some kind of far away. Anyway, but we'll see what will happen. So that's all. I hope you'd like it. See you on the next.